Hello, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Chevening Assessment Workshop hosted by the Borderless Foresight. My name is Ilesomi Ajoke, and I'll be your moderator for today. We are excited to have you here as we dive into one of the world's most prestigious scholarship opportunities, the Chevening Scholarship. This evening, we are not just going to be talking about the scholarship, we are going to be giving you a roadmap to help you stand out, compete globally, and bring that dream of studying in the UK close to reality. Before we dive in, please introduce yourself in the chat box. You can just tell us your name, your location, and what excites you about Chevening. Please introduce yourself in the chat box, your name, your location, and what excites you about Chevening. I'll be hoping to see more about you. Please introduce yourself in the chat box. Enoch, welcome. Thank you for joining. Hi, Mr. Ibrahim Otegbade. Thank you for joining. Mr. Paul, welcome. And for those just joining, you can also introduce yourself in the chat box by stating your name, your location, and what excites you about Chevening. Toby, welcome. Thank you for joining. Joy, welcome. Thank you for joining. As we are doing that, let's go through the agenda for today. First, we'll be unpacking the Chevening selection criteria. That is what the panel is looking out for to pick candidates for the Chevening opportunity. Then next, we'll learn how to showcase your strengths in ways that connect with the reviewers. Then we'll go through how to write essays, winning essays that stand out. Finally, we will end with the insights on how to ace the interview stage. So stay tuned, take notes, and make the most of this opportunity while we introduce you to our guest speaker. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker for today to you guys, Mr. Mayokun Iyaomoloere. Let me tell you a few things about our speaker. Mr. Mayokun is an environmental advocate. He's the founder of Plugging Nigeria and a youth leader who has worked extensively on impactful community-driven projects. His work embodies the kind of leadership and influence that programs like Chevening look out for. And this evening, he's here to share his insights, tips, and strategies with all of us. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Mayokun Iyaomoloere. Mr. Mayokun, on to you.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you very much, Ajoke. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. Ajoke, my name is not Mayokun, my name is Mayokun. Okay. I am not a musician. I always correct people because that's what everybody calls me. They have turned all of us to Mayokun. It's Mayokun. That's the original name before that musician boy now added out. So a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me and for introducing me. Thank you, Borderless, Foresight, for this invitation, for the opportunity. It's a pleasure, it's a privilege, it's a honor to be here. And yeah, thank you for the amazing work the amazing work here that Borderless Foresight intends or has begun to do. I really think that it's needed for a lot of us young people, including me. Yeah, so thank you for having me. Special shout out to my guy and my friend, Mr. Paul Iyaomoloere. And yeah, thank you everybody for coming, for attending. I hope that this is an insightful session for you. I'm just looking at the screen and I'm seeing that there's a Mayokun on the call. So I'm just going to give a special shout out to Mayokun because she, from the picture, looks like a she is my namesake. Every other person, please collect your shout out from Borderless Foresight team. Okay, I'm looking through the chat room. Welcome, Mr. Mike. Folks saying welcome, Mr. Mike. Okay, so let me.
Sorry, Mr. Mayokun. I think there's a background noise. Mr. Mayokun,
there's a background noise.
Yeah, it leads to echoing.
I'm so sorry for that. Let me see. How about now?
Yeah, this is much better. This is
better. Okay. Sorry, somebody else is on a Zoom call here too. Okay. I'm wondering why you're calling me Mr. Mayokun. Feels very strange hearing that from you. Okay. So first off, let me say that from the flyer that you saw, the invitation that you got, Borderless Foresight promised you many things that me, I cannot even deliver on. So on the highlights on that flyer, there's now a part that says how to get the interview, clinical like that. We are not going to be talking about interview today. So I know that Borderless Foresight, what they will do is now we'll just talk about application on how to get to the interview stage. Then when it's now time for interviews, Borderless Foresight will now organize another one. And that time we'll now focus on interview because we cannot do all of that right now. So dropping that disclaimer first. Then number two, Ajoke, how many minutes do I have so that I will plan my talking very well? When should I stop speaking?
You have like 45 to 1 hour, 45 minutes to 1.
Okay, so this is 17:10. Let's say by 6 p.m. Okay, let's see what we can do. That's 50 minutes thereabouts. So welcome once again, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. Oh, okay, Mr. Paul, let me return the favor. Your hand is up, sir.
All right, so I want to give a disclaimer to the members of Borderless Foresight community. If you are hoping to jump off the call thinking a recording will be shared, you are mistaken. We will only share the recording at our preferred time. If you're on our onboarding call, like I said, Borderless Foresight is not here to baby anybody. If you are here to learn about Chevening scholarship, then you should be able to wait till the end. Right? This is free of charge. I tell you, courses like this are paid for. But we are leveraging networking and co-financing to have a one-on-one. You're having a one-on-one session with a Chevening scholar. So please, 1 hour, if you're calculating the minimum wage in US dollars, it is about $16 per hour. So when some experts multiply it based on their expertise and resources given, They charge as high as $2,500 US, and you're about to get all of that free of charge. So do not expect that you will jump off and the recording will be shared. We might share it and we might not share it, just so you know. Thank you, everyone. Over to you, sir.
As I heard $2,500. Yeah, if you give me, I'll collect though. Hey, okay. Still in the spirit of dropping disclaimer, so please, whatever I'm going to say are my personal thoughts and opinions, because I am a Chevening scholar or alumni, or alumnus is for that. So it does not mean that I can speak for Chevening. I'm not a representative of Chevening. Whatever I tell you or whatever we say on this call, please, the final notice on YouTube, verify to confirm, and don't take my word for it. Don't say that one Chevening scholar said it, so that's how it should be. Please, it's personal thoughts from experiences of mine and from other scholars. So please, let's keep that in mind. Everything I tell you, please check, confirm, make sure that you're running with the right information. And it's also not on Borderless Foresight. So it's everything goes back to you. Okay, so we'll just get right into it. I'm gonna share my screen, and we would see how quickly we can run. Please, at any point, let me know if you can, if you stop hearing me, or you just need me to you want to call my attention to something. Please confirm that you can see my screen and that you can hear me clearly. Anybody?
Yes, we can see your screen and hear you clearly.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. So we'll go right into it, and we'll go to the Chevening website, chevening.org. Yeah, so everything you need for your scholarship application is here in this place. Everything from beginning to end is on this website. All the information you need, how to apply, how to do this, how to do that, what to prepare, everything is here on this website. So I would strongly advise that you take some time to read through the website, go through the resource hub, go through the application guideline. We are going to look into that. Come here, read through this, read the facts, read everything. It will help you to you can leave the fellowship. Just focus on scholarship and resource of this first part. So all of the things that you read on this site will aid your application when you are filling and when you are putting together the things you need to put together. So let's go to the application guidance, and we'll take that as a guide for our session today. So if you come to this page on your phone, on your laptop, there's this, and you can always, when you click on this, it shows you a list of things that you should read through each and see where to take you. So let's begin with the eligibility criteria. So we'll check on this page, run through and come back. And this is the best place to begin. Now, Chevening eligibility criteria. Number one, you must be a citizen of a Chevening eligible country. I think all of us on this call, we are. I'm seeing Nigerian names. I think most of us, all of us are. Then you must commit to returning to your home country for at least 2 years after your scholarship ends. Chevening is not a jackpot opportunity. It is not. If you are thinking that you want to jackpot through Chevening, please rethink. It's a wrong thought. You are expected to come back home for at least 2 years after your scholarship ends to localize some of the things you have learned. So it is not an opportunity to jackpot. If that's what you have been saying it as, it is not. So you come back home, you sign a form, you come back home, and you cannot take that away. So you must have at least 2,800 hours of work experience after graduating from your undergraduate degree. Now, this is an introduction to the eligibility. You can, now this is roughly equivalent to 2 years of full-time work, though it may have been completed over a different time period. For this, you have to have graduated. This 2,800 hours of work experience must be after you have graduated from your first degree, from your undergraduate degree. So you cannot submit or record hours before your graduation from your first degree. And so it's only work experience after you have graduated, and it must be 2 years after graduation now. That's a new addition. In the past, anybody can apply for Chevening, but this year they just started this application cycle. You must have graduated for at least 2 years because they want work experience that amounts to roughly 2 years of of working. So if you graduated earlier than if you graduated later than October 2023, if the date on your graduation certificate is after October 2023, sorry, this is not your time to apply for Chevening. You have to wait till next year or the following year when you are 2 years post first degree post undergraduate studies. So if you graduated before October 2023, you are safe. You can apply now. So if you're on this call and you graduated after October 2023 from your undergraduate degree, this is not your year to apply for Chevening. So, but of course, you can still stay to listen in and hear what you're talking about. So that's very important. Again, it's something that is new. So some of us may not know, may not have heard about it, but it's new. So yeah, you see it here. You must hold another undergraduate degree that qualifies you for UK Masters, and you must have finished your undergraduate studies at least 2 years before application deadline. So October 7 is the application deadline. So if you graduated after October 7, nope, you cannot apply. If you graduated before October 7, you can apply. So yep. So then you need to apply to 3 UK university, all of this. So you see that they still spell it as separately here. 2 of these achievement eligibility criteria this year. New criteria. Only work experience gained after the date of your graduation will count. So you cannot record something before you graduated as work experience. We've made changes to the application form to better align it. So there's a couple of things. All of this we'll look at them later on. What else? You are not eligible for achieving scholarship if you are a British citizen, if you a refugee of a country not eligible for achieving, you are an employee, relative, family member of somebody who has worked in the UK government, British High Commission, embassy, blah, blah, blah. You have previously studied in the UK on a UK government funded scholarship. So that is that. If we click on this again, I think it further explains some of the things, just list them out. To be eligible, must be a citizen of an eligible country, demonstrate potential to rise to position of leadership and influence. This is important. You need to be able to show that you are a person who can lead and influence because you want to cause change. Demonstrate the personal, intellectual, and interpersonal attributes reflecting this potential of leadership and influence. Return to your country of citizenship at the end of the period of the fellowship. You see, again, it's not a JAPA route. Meet all program specific eligibility requirements, not all the British. Okay. So we've covered the core things. Yeah, so let's go back to the page we were on just now, the one that has the guidance. Yeah. So we have covered the eligibility criteria. Please, if you have any questions as we are going through, just put them in the chat room so that I can quickly respond to them. So we've covered the eligibility criteria. Now we are going to application criteria. Let's see what's in that. 4 questions to ask yourself before you begin. Do you have strong examples of your leadership and influencing skills? Do you have good examples of building professional relationships? How does a career plan address both local and global challenges in alignment with UK priority areas? How your chosen courses support your ambitions to drive change? And remember, the original, don't use AI software. The use of AI software to generate answers in Chevening application is strictly prohibited. Chevening uses tools and software to identify fraud, plagiarism, and AI-generated answers, so it automatically disqualifies you. You have to write. It yourself, your essays, your application, and all. Where did I go wrong in my Chevening application? Let me open this. Hopefully we have some time to come back to it. See, there's a message in the chat room. I graduated October 11, 2020. You graduated after the deadline, sadly, a few days after the deadline. Is that the date? That's the date on your certificate. Is that the date on your certificate, Lydia? What's the date on your certificate? If that's the date on your certificate, I'm afraid well, for Lydia, I would say you should still try. Really, I would honestly say you should still try because it's very close. And in some places, they wrote that if you graduated, if it's it must be 2 years after when you count backwards, it must be 2 years before the deadline. But since yours is just a couple of days, in some places they just wrote you must have graduated before or on October 2023. So Lydia, I really think you should try. If you don't get it, it's not because you did not try, because the date is so close, very close. So I think you should try. Yeah, so if it were November, I would have said, but it's still October, it's just a few days. Can somebody with 2 apply? We'll get to that part. Is NYC acceptable as a work experience? Don't worry, we'll get to that part. Just stay with us. All right, so let's go back. We've covered the application criteria page. Please, if anything is not clear as I'm running through, let me know. So let's come back here and go to, let's just follow their guide here, references. So you would need to submit a reference. The summary of this, you need to submit to people in your application as referees. You don't need to get a reference letter from them right now. If you make it to the interview stage, then you need to get, but now you need to have 2 people who can be referees for you. So you can come to this page and read more about the kind of people that can be your referees. Advisable, you can have a lecturer from from the organizations where you worked and all of that. They can be a referee. So common application errors. Let's look through this again. Yeah, some people are not eligible and they just want to apply anyway. Some people want to use it as JAPA. Are you a citizen of a Chevening eligible country? Yeah. Do you have enough work experience? 2,800 work hours after you graduated. I think most of us here would have this work experience if we have graduated for up to 2 years. I think, and because what counts as work experience can be volunteering, can be full-time job, part-time job, even internships count. As long as you're working somewhere, you're contributing to an organization, you have some defined roles and you there. Yeah, you have to pick 3 schools, 3 courses, or you have to pick 3 courses in 1 school. Yeah, now this is a new introduction. In the past, this was not there, but they just introduced these new priority areas for application. So your application, your course, everything you're doing has to be tied to 1 or more, at least 1 of these priority areas. And if you really think about it, all the work that we do, we'll definitely find space here. We'll definitely tie to 1 of this. We just need to be able to establish the connect. And your answers your own. Yeah, don't use AI, don't plagiarize, don't want to copy somebody's essay, people that got it before, and just be changing the details to your own. Write it, let it be true, own it. Are you confident in English language skills? I think all of us are here. We should be. We studied in Nigeria, studied in English. So we go back again and see, are you ready to apply? Let's see what that holds. Are you ready to apply? Okay, so this is, again, a couple of questions that you need to ask yourself if you want to apply for this scholarship. You see, it's about eligibility too. Excuse me. So how passionate are you about creating lasting positive change? So you can just come to this page also, take this quiz, deeply committed, how we use the skills gained on this Chevening scholarship or fellowship to tackle pressing issues, use what I learned about UK, expand my learning, all of the above, I think in this case. Do you have a short, mid-term, and long-term career plan which is realistic and achievable? Yes. Are you a citizen of, I mean, you have to be all these responses we are giving if you are thinking of applying for the Chevening scholarship. So Are you a citizen of a Chevening eligible country? Yes. Do you have lots of examples demonstrating leadership and influence? Yes. Do you have at least 2,800? Yes. Did you complete your undergraduate studies before October 2023? Yes. Have you chosen 3 UK masters? Yes. Do you have another that meets requirement? Yes. Have you previously studied in the UK with a funding from UK government? No. Have you any of your immediate be employed by the UK? No. Do you have sufficient English? Yes. Do you feel free to write a competitive Chevening application? Yes. So submit answers, and you see it's just marks all your submissions. Yes, that's great. We are looking for people who are passionate about creating lasting change in their local communities and beyond. So it just checks all of it. So retake quiz. Let me see if I pick no here, pick one here. Let's see, somewhat passionate. Let's see what it's gonna look like. Yes, do you have lots of example? Not sure. Do you have at least? Not sure. Do you complete your flow? Not sure. Not sure. Let's say no. Not sure. Not sure. Almost submit. Let's see what it's gonna look like. So you see, for the you have to be ready according to all of these questions that they're asking here. So now this brings to fore that you see that all the things you'll be looking at, there's been mention of creating change, leadership, influence, and stuff like that. So Chevening scholarship is not for anybody, it's not for everybody. It's for people who are doing impactful work or who are already doing and who want to continue to do or who want to start doing impactful work in their community. So it's not just a scholarship that just offers you master. It's not just an academic master scholarship. Yeah, you're going to study in a school, so it's an academic master's on that ground. But what gets you the scholarship is the fact that you are working to create some type of change, to make some kind of difference in your environment, in your society, in your community, in your country. So that's very important because those are the things that you are going to be spelling out in your application to qualify for this scholarship. If you are just a first class student and you're looking for a master's scholarship and you don't have any impact footprint in helping to lead, influence, create some positive change through the work that you do, through your first class and all of that, you will not get the scholarship. Okay, so let's go back again to our guidance page, the application guidance. So we have looked at this, we have looked at this. So how to apply to Chevening. So you've read the guidance, blah, 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 blah. So there's an online application system. And the first thing you do is, for those that may not have created accounts already, around the platform, when you click apply today, you will see it. See here, it's littered around the website. So when you click on that, it will take you to a system, a page first, where you'll be asked to read the terms and conditions, all of those regular things. Then you have to enter an email and phone number. Try to make those correct because you're going to receive a link to the application portal there. Then when you get the link in your email, when you click on the link, it takes you to a page where you have to answer some eligibility questions to confirm that you're eligible. So you have to answer the questions correctly, similar to the screen, what we just checked a couple of minutes ago. Answer the questions correctly. There's a part that asks if you are already or you intend to be a person of a leader of influence and all of that in your community, in your country. Say yes to that, amongst other things. That question may be a bit confusing for some people because it asks that, are you already or do you intend to be, sort of. So yeah, basically just asking to establish your interest in wanting to help to lead and influence change in your own way. So yes to that. So if you fail the eligibility checker, you have two attempts to correct your entries, your responses, and pass it. So you have to pass the eligibility checker before you can progress to the main application portal. Excuse me, please. So if you fail the first time, you try again. After 3 times, you may not, and you still fail. That means you are not selecting the right responses that makes you eligible, or that confirms that you're eligible. So if it is true that if the responses you are selecting are correct, applies to you, and it's saying that you are not eligible, then you are not. So you want to go and do whatever you need to do over the next 1-2 years to make yourself eligible. But if it's that you made a mistake in your choice of selections from the eligibility checker, the questions, then you try again. If you fail it 3 times, then you may not be able to use that email again. You may need to start again with another email. So if you pass the eligibility checker, you receive an email to your registered email address with a link to continue your application. So once you have followed the link in your email after passing the eligibility checker, you'll see an access code displayed on your screen, and you need to keep that access code. It is very important. You need it every time you'll be logging in to continue your application. If you lose it at any point, no matter how far you have done with your application, you have to go and start again with a new account. So keep it somewhere safe. You see, they recommended to take a photo of it, snap it, keep it in, copy it, save it in Google Drive in a document, keep it on your WhatsApp, send it to somebody's there, start it there, keep it there, keep it everywhere. Just keep it, the access code. When you are logging in, it will ask you for parts of the access code. Then, yeah, in the application form, there are different parts of it. And then, so when you have gotten into your application part, there's a part that asks for your personal details where you provide your name, as it is on your passport, your pronouns, he, she, him, they, all of those things, your date of birth, and all those regular things about you. Then immigration details, your country of citizenship, passport number. If you do not have a passport, I'm sorry, you cannot apply for this scholarship because you need to input a passport at this point, and you will not be able to change the details later on. So you need to have a passport. So if you don't have a passport yet, if you're working on getting one, if you get it before, if you hope to get it before October 7th, the deadline, you can continue the rest of your application so that when it's ready, you just come and input that. Education history, yeah, you enter details of your previous education. If you have a master's before, some people even have PhDs before and they still get Chevening scholarship. So, but you just have to establish why after having master's or PhD, you still want to do another master's. You need to be able to explain that. So, your first degree, secondary school, all the previous details of education you have, institutions attended. If you did some professional courses too, you can enter them here, anything to support your whole application. So you can make up to 15 entries. So you see, they are very generous with that. They're not limited. Then work history. Now you can add up to 15 entries of post-work experience to the application form. I saw somebody ask if you can use NYSC here if it's acceptable as work experience. Yes, the answer is yes, it's work. You worked. The things you can enter as work experience can be volunteering, can be internship, can be actual full-time job, part-time job, hybrid work, whether it's on-site, online, all of it count as work experience here. So the most important thing is that it has to be after you graduated from school and amount to 2,800 hours. And really, if you've been doing stuff, whether if it's even just volunteering, most likely you get your 2,800 hours. And some of you may have been wondering, how do I calculate this hours? How do I do this? You don't need to bother your head about that. The system, the platform will calculate it for you. All you need to do is, okay, enter your work experience, advisedly, maybe from the most recent one. So where is your latest workplace, or where are you volunteering presently? Anyone. So you enter the name in the portal. I think it will ask you for the name of the organization. It will ask you for the role you are playing there or that you played there. It will ask you when you started working there. It will ask you if you are still working there. So if you select yes, it will count up from when you started working up to when you are working there. If you select that you're no longer there, you're not currently working there anymore, it would ask you for when you stopped working there, and it will then ask you for the number of hours you worked there per week. So what the system will do is it will calculate the number of hours you worked times the number of weeks you worked there. So if I say, for example, I started working somewhere in June 2025 till August 2025, that's about that's about 12 weeks in total. So I input in the system that at this workplace I worked estimated hours of I worked, say about 30 hours, 20 hours, 5 hours, 10 hours, depending on the nature of the job per week. What the system will now do is multiply 12. So if I enter 20 hours, 12 times 20, that's 240 hours. It will automatically calculate, and you see somewhere up in the application portal, it will be when you enter another work experience, enter the hours, the duration of the work, and the work hours, it would increase that. It would automatically be computing. So it's not something you have to be calculating yourself. You just need to state when you started working, when you stopped working, if you are still working in that particular place. Something to take note of here, though. Now, if you have entered that you worked in a place, if I have stated, for example, that I'm working with Borderless Foresight. Say I started working with Borderless Foresight in June, like I mentioned, and I worked with them till August. And I worked with Borderless Foresight maybe as a staff, full-time or part-time, anyhow, and I indicated that I worked 40 hours a week with Borderless Foresight. Now, if I'm making another entry, see here, you have up to 15 entries for work experience. So again, very generous, a lot of place for you to cover hours. So if I now say that between that June or somewhere in between, or maybe in July or just anywhere in between that June to August, I was also volunteering with another organization of maybe another organization. So I now say that in the time when I was working 40 hours per week with Borderless Foresight, I was also volunteering 40 hours per week with another organization. It is not possible. You cannot work 80 hours per week when you are volunteering. You are working full-time 40 hours, which is like the normal work period. Then you are also working another 40 hours in that same week. So that means in that week, you're working 80 hours. It's not realistic, it's not feasible, and it does not go well. So you need to, it does not appear correct, strong. So you need to be careful when you are looking at all of those, because there may be some of your work experiences that would overlap. Maybe you worked while you were working somewhere, you volunteered somewhere in between, that will add to your hours, but it needs to be realistic. So if I'm already working 40 hours in a full-time job, in the same period, if I'm volunteering there, I may not have had more than 5 hours, 6 hours of volunteering opportunity, of time to volunteer, 10 hours, maybe max, for that same period of time. So it needs to all add up and make sense. All right, so that's about work experience. Is there any other question there? Let me see. Okay, somebody, can a person with to apply if not gotten there. So work history, that's for that. And now for programs of study, submit, you have to pick 3 courses or 3 course choices. Yeah, so you can either pick 3 different courses from 3 different schools, or you can pick 3 different courses from the same school. The most important thing is that all the courses have to be similar. You are applying that, okay, you are basing your application based on, I want to go and study this thing based on what I've been doing, what I'm doing, what I want to do, and all that. So you cannot now say, my course 1 is ocean management, my course 2 is electrical engineering, my course 3 is commercial economics. That does not make sense. Everything is scatter. So if you are applying to 3 different schools, the course have to be the same, they don't have to be the same name. So in school 1, the course can be called ocean management. In school 2, the course can be called ocean conservation and management. In school 3, the course can be called management of the ocean and the conservation of it. So, but from the names, you get an idea that, okay, for the school 3 may even be marine management, can be freshwater management, but you'd see elements that, okay, they just bear different names, but the parts of the course will still be the same and all that. And you'd have a place to still dwell on one of the courses. We are going to talk about why you're studying that course, but we'll get there. So you can, if you are choosing 3 different courses from 3 different schools, the courses have to, it has to look like these courses are similar. So this person has this focus. The courses are just called different things in different schools. Or you can pick 3 courses from the same school, but the courses still have to be similar. So for example, I'm in the environment space. I can say in the same school, they may have a course that is climate justice. They may have a course that is environmental management. They may have a course that is, say, ocean management. So I can choose all of those. Now, they look different, but they are all environment-related courses. Now, in the environmental management course, perhaps in that school, there's a pathway of, under that environmental management, there's a pathway of ocean conservation. in the climate justice part, perhaps there's a focus on that in that course on water and ocean related issues. So you need to be able to establish all of those. But I think so that you're not putting yourself in a difficult spot. Yeah, most people go for 30 different courses in 30 different schools. So you're not putting all your eggs in one basket. Because if you are selecting 3 courses in the same school, the requirements for admission in that school, in that one school, will likely be the same. And if anything happens that you don't qualify for one, you may likely not qualify for others, and that's like putting your eggs in one basket. So better to spread contacts around. You will be asked in your application if you have already applied to each of your course choices. So yes, you can either answer yes or no. Your answering no does not affect your application at this point. It does not affect in any way. Me, I selected one and I applied to the schools after I had submitted my Chevening scholarship. And it even helps because the essays that you write for Chevening will help in your applying to the other schools, because they will ask you for a statement of purpose and stuff like that. And you can just modify, bring all your achievements together, modify them, make them one long personal statement and stuff, and use them to apply. So when you select no here, it does not affect. If you select yes, no, if that's the truth. Yes, if that's the truth, it does not affect anything. Then, yeah, we talked about referees. You'll be asked to submit the names, job details, and contact details of 2 referees. Yes. So I think their email, their phone number, and stuff. So you need to be able to have those 2 people, speak to them, let them know that, okay, eventually I will ask you to prepare a reference letter for me. Chevening will not send them an email for them to fill. At least that was the previous practice. So except you may change it now that they are changing things. But what it's going to be is that the details you provide now, they are the people that have to give you a reference letter if you make it to the interview stage. So you need to get a reference letter from them. So think well around this. It can be your previous lecturer, it can be your guy where you worked before. Sometimes some people even use colleagues from where they worked, depending on how easy you have access to these people. But the most important thing is that let these people be able to really speak to you and what you do, or write things about you that would make anybody read it, say, oh, this person is a serious person. So there's a page for referees. You can always read about it. Here, who can be a referee? A referee should be someone who knows in a professional or personal capacity, but not a friend or relative. Ask them merely to ensure they have enough time to write a strong reference letter. So if anybody is writing you a referee letter, they cannot state that he has been my friend, or is my brother, or is my uncle's in-law's wife, or something like that. So it has to be, if you are even using a friend to write for you, they have to write in a professional capacity. So your colleague at work, your lecturer, your supervisor at work, your people you have worked with on projects and stuff like that, they cannot come and say he's my friend. They have to establish a professional connection and write about you, that, okay, while we were working together, I ascertained that this person is eligible and all of that. So that page has all the things you need about referees. There's a question, I think. So someone can pick the same course in 3 different schools. Yes, that's mostly the ideal thing. Pick the same course in 3 different schools. Even if the names of the courses are not the same, in some schools it will be the same. The names may be similar, different in some schools, but the core of the curriculum, the modules will be the same. So that's what it's supposed to be. 3 different schools, same course. Option 2 is 1 school, 3 different courses, which I would not advise, honestly. And the interesting thing, yeah, back to the school thing, you can apply to more schools. But maybe we'll come back to that. So now the parts that I think many of us have been waiting for, essay questions. Now, respond to the 4 Chevening essay questions related to leadership, relationship building, technique of the word limits. We recommend you prepare your answer to the essay in a separate document. Always good practice before copying and pasting into the application once finalized. Read how to score well on each of the Chevening application criteria. Let's open this again and see what it looks like. Please confirm that you can see my screen.
Yes.
Anybody? All right, thank you very much. Okay, so these are the essay guides towards writing the essay questions. And Chevening has made it more simple and also more difficult this year. So come to this page, read all these things they have about these essays. The first one is leadership and influencing skills, professional relationship, building professional relationship, career plans, and your chosen course. So I'm going to share let me see if I still have that screen opened. Give me a moment, please. How to hide this thing? Let's get it in. Okay, so let me share this screen. Stop sharing. Please, yeah. So far, let me take one or two feedback. Are you hearing me? Are you listening to me? Am I speaking to some of the things that you need to know about the scholarship? Okay, I'm seeing thumbs up from Jamaluddin, from user. Okay, great. I want thumbs up from my namesake. Mayokun, are you following? Please let me know if you're following. It should be a huge validation for me as my namesake. Okay, yeah, I see messages in the chat room. Yes, you are. Thank you very much. So I'm going to share my screen again, and we'll go through the supporting statements, the parts that I know that many people are waiting for. So let's run through them and how I think you should answer them. So let me drop another disclaimer here that this was not the format when I applied. Sure, this was not the format until this application cycle where they just changed things. Before, yeah, I mentioned that they've made it more simple and more difficult. Before, for each essay, you had 500 words, so you had space. And back when those of us that wrote 500 words, we still used to complain that, oh no, it's not enough. I had to cut this thing that I feel is very important, very this and that, but we shall write. Now it's 300 words. So, but the good thing is, during our time, they will just ask you one long question of a compound sentence, describe leadership, this, that, blah, blah, what is leadership to you? And you just write. But here, they've now broken it down for what exactly they want. So in our time, we used to say, you can try to give 2 or 3 examples, this, that, try to squeeze it in. I remember mine, I think I gave at least 2 examples. I remember 2, I don't know if I did 3, but I gave up to 2 examples for my networking and my leadership essay. So there are 4 essays you write, 300 words each, a total of 1,200 words. Quite not much, especially for those of us that may be used to applying for opportunities. You know, we are always writing. So if you're writing 4 essays and the amount of 1-2 words, I think it's fair. So you're writing 4 essays: leadership experience, relationship building and influence, course choice and Yoruba man in me, course choice and global challenge, career plan and impact. So let's take it one by one. Now the question is, describe a time. A is singular. So people we have been asking that how many examples should I give? Should we try to give according to this a time? Now this is again not final. If you can squeeze in more than one example to answer this question, so describe a time when you demonstrated leadership. In your answer, please address the following. In this one time, you're answering what was the context or challenge you faced, what specific actions did you take as a leader, what was the outcome, what did you learn, how has the experience shaped your approach to leadership? So if you can answer all these questions for 2 examples, fine. Still within the limit of 300 words, totally fine. So what would be bad is if you finish one, you now say, okay, let me try to give you another example, and you do not now answer these questions about that example. It does not make sense. If you don't answer these questions, since they said in your answer, please address the following regarding a time when you demonstrated leadership. So if you are giving 2 examples of leadership demonstration, you should be able to answer all of these questions within the 300 words. So if not, just focus on one and try to develop it and make sure you answer these questions well. So you must enter a minimum of 100 words. You cannot write less than 100 words. I've seen from the applications really that people send to me, let me review, and they'll just write, and I cannot even do anything. So if you have less than 100 words, I think the computer will automatically remove the application or something when they are screening and all that. So maximum of 300 and minimum of 100 words. So describe a time when you demonstrated leadership. What was the context or challenge you faced? What specific actions did you take as a leader? What was the outcome? What did you learn? How has this experience shaped your approach to leadership? So usually there's recommendations to use something called a STAR approach for this, for answering these questions. So you don't have to. I mean, if you want to answer these questions as they are, it will still mean that you're actually doing that. But I don't want it to be so rigid and say you have to now say the STAR approach. Some of you may have heard that. So STAR means situation, task, action, result. So there's a situation, you know that a task needs to be carried out to change that situation. Then action. So you know that there's a task, then you actually take action to change the situation, and then there's a result based on your action that eventually changes or alters that situation. So I've seen essays where people are writing, so the situation is this, then this was the task I carried out, and this was the action. No, that's very bad. Then recently, someone was telling me earlier today that he was reviewing an essay for somebody, and the person actually brought all of this. What was the context of the challenge? It will now come under this one and now say the context of the challenge, this is, then we come under this one, say the what are the specific action. You now type again, I did this. No, please. I do not think that is appropriate. So I think they would want you to just have a good flow. You can answer them in paragraphs. So if you have 4 paragraphs where you are dwelling on all of this, that makes sense, but they don't have to be headers. I mean, if you're even doing headers, it reduces your word count. So this in itself is already how many words? Let's see. Word count. So that's already 35 words out of your 300 words going. So just have one 300 words essay with 4 paragraphs where you are answering all these questions and you are flowing logically and it's making sense. So anybody reading from your essay would see all of these questions answered. So what was the context or challenge you faced? What specific actions did you take as a leader? Let me give an example with my application. I run an organization. Okay, let me check the chat room. Please, I have less than 15 minutes left. Okay, I got that message. Let's see. Yeah, let's run through. So context, example from my own application. I run an organization called Plugin Nigeria. I base my application on that. What we do at Plugin Nigeria is, oh, Mr. Paul, yes, please.
Yeah, if you need extra time, let us know.
Okay, I'll try to run through. Thank you very much. So what we do in my organization is we promote responsible, at least as at that time, we're promoting responsible waste management, responsible waste handling, wanting people to. So what was the context or challenge? What was the situation? I noticed that, okay, people in Nigeria indiscriminately dispose a lot. I gave an example. You see people moving from vehicles, throwing stuff, that they even teach this thing to younger children and all that. So what specific actions that was the context, so that was the challenge. So I explained that situation, that and it was something I was not comfortable with, that we can be more civilized, more environmentally conscious and responsible and doing that. What specific actions did you take? All of this led me to starting an organization called Plugin Nigeria. Now, you don't have to be a founder to start an organization. It could be that you started volunteering with an organization because you saw that they take action regarding that context, that situation or challenge that you faced. So I decided to start an organization for my part. There are many volunteers who get this scholarship. Really, you don't have to be a founder or something. So don't think it's for founders. What specific actions did you take as a leader? Yeah, I started this plugin exercises to bring in people together to raise awareness about the issue and also model clean spaces by organizing cleanup exercises as form of participatory action for education and awareness. And I started on this campus and I was able to bring together a couple of volunteers. And now I'm already going to what was the outcome and what did you learn? I started on one campus in the years that I have worked with that organization or led the organization. I was able to increase membership of the organization from we started with 17 volunteers to I think over 1,000. As at the time I applied, we started in one university campus, had a community there. We had grown to about 20 something campuses at that time, and we had over 1,000 volunteers now. And what were these people doing in the period of time? We had collected we had cleaned about so kilogram of waste from the environment. We have recovered so kilogram or tons of recyclables from the environment that we have sent or processed for recycling and upcycling. So now I give numbers, and the numbers are real, they are true. I did not say that I started an organization today and in 1 month, with 17 volunteers, we became 1,000 volunteers. It was a couple of years. As at when I applied, it was 2018 to 2023, between 22 thereabout. Can't really remember. So we had like a 4 years. So the numbers you are giving, is good to use numbers, and the numbers you are giving should be real. And it does not have to be big numbers like hundreds, thousands, and all that. Your project or whatever initiative that you are trying to lead around, it can be something that is small. It can be in your very local community, in your immediate environment. It could be that you are helping families, you are promoting something that is impacting families positively. You have a family as a case study, they had this situation before, but due to your intervention in a couple of months or in a couple of months, you should extend it, you should have an extensive period a bit. And this is the new situation. It could be that, okay, in my environment, most of the children around us are illiterate. It may be in my immediate environment, a community of up to 20 houses. I'm just trying to keep it to show that it can be small too. Now, we have about 20 houses or households with children, with each household having maybe an average of 3 children. I intervened because these children did not have access to education. In 3 months, I had increased their literacy or helped to introduce more than 50% of the children to school. Sometimes you use those percentage and stuff to versus. So if you do a project, for example, and say you work with 10 people and you positively impact 5 people, it's sweeter to say for the person reading, when you say I have improved the situation or I've engaged over 50% of the population to get this thing done, to make this positive impact, it looks bigger than when you say I have done 5 out of 10 people, I've improved for 5 out of 10 people. So you need to know how you balance and use all of those to your advantage. But yeah, numbers are very good here when you are applying this. And how has the experience shaped your approach to leadership? What did you learn? Yeah, what did I learn? What did you learn in the process of leading all of those? That okay, perhaps it's that if we really do not take action, if we see a situation and we do not take action, it will remain like that. But we've learned that our little action matters, and it can be a ripple effect. What I thought about now, there's 1,000 other persons running with that dream, running with that idea, and all of that. We are making impact. So that's, as a leader, I can influence or that cause positive change. How has this experience shaped the approach to leadership? So you also talk about that. So this particularly may takes away from the situation you're addressing. You just, okay, so now what do you think leadership is? Oh, from this experience, I've seen that leadership is about providing the platform for people to contribute to change. Leadership is about taking the lead, like actually starting something and not really thinking about how perfect it will be. So depending on the story you are saying, you are giving here, the example you are giving, you draw out something that I think has structured the approach to leadership or your thoughts about leadership. Now, so that's about for this leadership. Now, some people ask questions like, can I give an example of when I was in a secondary school, when I was in a choir master in my church, when I led a group of children, taught them this and that, like all the examples and stuff. With the new structure of the application, I think they wanted to go straight to to an example that aligns with your career path. With, you want to go and study a course in a particular field, give an example that relates to that. I think that's what would work better. Don't go and say, I was a leader in my secondary school, I was a senior prefect boy, I'm a choir master in my church, except what you want to go and study is about music, choir, leadership through music or something. If it's not that, just focus on an example in your field, in your career. where you have had some level of influence. And again, the influence does not mean that you are leading from the top. It can be that you are a follower, you are a volunteer, and you saw a situation within the work that you are doing, and you were able to help improve that situation. You saw it, you recommended it to your superiors or whoever is in charge. From there, you were able to jointly develop something that you're in charge of or that you're a part of that has led to this level of change. From there, you understand that, oh, I don't have to be the Oga Patapata to be the one to influence change. I can also lead from the middle, I can also lead as a follower. So that sort of thing. Then relationship building and influence. Tell us about again, this is a professional relationship. So I think it's basically asking for one example. I mean, you have 300 words to answer these 4 questions again. The relationship you have built and maintained. In your answer, please address how was the relationship formed. I'll give an example of one that I used in my application. I was in, when I had a master's before, right? Before I applied for this Chevening scholarship. So, some of you, if you have masters, you can apply again. You just have to prove that you need a second master's to gain some level of specialty. So I mentioned that how was the relationship from when I started the master's. I formed a relationship with somebody who I saw who was ahead of me in the master's, a senior colleague. He was doing a lot of environmental projects and initiatives outside the classroom. I loved that. I wanted to have that, so I started to volunteer for all the different initiatives. What made it important? Yeah, because he was doing something I wanted to do, and I saw an opportunity to learn from him. How did I contribute to this relationship? I volunteered for all the projects, all really. And as I was volunteering, I was learning how to manage people, community entry, community engagements, all of those. How have I sustained the relationship or developed this relationship over time? Yeah, I continue to volunteer for all these my mentor's projects. At the time, it was not my mentor, but I mean, because I kept turning up, he saw me, how committed I was, and he took me on as a mentee, and I continue to support all the things that he did in my own way. And when he graduated, he started a company. While I was still a student, he employed me as one of his staff. So a way we sustained our relationship. When I started my organization, I invited him to be a board member in my organization. So he really has had a huge influence on me, helped me to learn project management, community engagement, design projects, and all of those things. So that relationship is very critical to the work I do now. So I've talked about the relationship. Then there's the final question: how will these skills help you build connections within the Chevening community and beyond? Now, I've already shown that, oh, I have a relationship building skill that will advance professional relationship building skill. I mean, a skill that I'm not just talking about. I know how to speak to people. I know how to address an audience. I know how to collect people's number at an event. You need to give an example that will show that, oh, that relationship transitioned into something that was beneficial for your career, for your development as a person. That's why it's a professional relationship. So now, how will these skills help you build connections within the Chevening community and beyond? If you become a member of the Chevening community, you become a member of, you have access to over 55,000 alumni members, and many of these people will be people who are already experienced in your field. So state that, yeah, you also leverage these skills that you have developed to connect to those kind of people. If you get the scholarship when you are in the UK, when you're studying, you meet people from different parts of the world who have some knowledge, who you can bond with, connect with professionally. You meet people, even citizens in the UK, who are doing some work, companies and all of those. So because of the scholarship, you have access to this community of people that you may not have had access to without the scholarship. And you are going to now transfer those relationship building skills to help to try to get build relationships that will be instrumental to your advancement in your field in some way. So again, maximum of 300 words, minimum of 100. Then cost, choice, and global challenge. Here you are explaining your first choice. In the previous years, you would normally explain your choice of course and the university. But this one is asking you to just explain your first choice of course and university. Please relate your answer to one of the UK priority areas. So now, as a reference on the Chevening website, so if we go back to the Chevening website, I don't think you guys can see the screen now, but there are 4 priority areas. Let me just copy them and go and put them on that document. So the 4 priority areas are promoting, let me just copy so we can all see. A minute, please. So these are the 4 priority areas. So it's asking you what promoting growth and prosperity, this. So what is the specific priority area you wish to address? You have to tie your whole application to 1 or 2 of these, but yeah, there should be 1 major one. If it's 1, you can focus on that. You can also mention, if you have the space for words, that it also ties to this and this. So how will your choosing course equip you to contribute into addressing this theme? Why have you selected a particular university in the UK? So this course that you have chosen, your first choice course and university, how will that course contribute to, if you say my work is building resilience in a climate vulnerable world, so you choose a course, you want to study climate justice. So how is that course going to address this thing? So then why have you selected? You focus on the course first. So the usual thing is that or the best thing is, what I think is a good practice here is to now mention what that course offers you. And usually when you search for universities, I would like to do a quick demo on that. But let me run through this essay first. Please, you can remind me to come to that in case I forget. You would see, when you search for courses, when you pick schools and all that, you'd see that each course, if you go to the school's website, they have modules, the courses, the curriculum, what you will learn under them. So go and pick from those, look at the points or parts of it that you can use to support your application. This module, these 2 modules, this module, that module will contribute to me learning this knowledge that will be instrumental to understanding how our world is vulnerable to climate change and how we can build resilience. So different parts of the course. Then now, why have we selected a particular university in the UK? Is it because they teach that course, or they have a track record of producing people who go on to make some impact in this area locally in the UK or globally around the world? Is it because there's a particular lecturer there who is a globally acclaimed person for any of these things? Maybe there's a professor there, a lecturer there who works in the UN and is known for being the one to help to design security and stability in volatile parts of the world. And you look forward to learning from him, to gain from their experience. Or maybe they have some type of lab that is, world standard, global standard, that you think will really be instrumental to you studying that course in that school. So you just want to boast about the school, but the boasting should not just be about because the school is ranked, kinikon. That should not be the main thing. The main thing should be what exactly makes that school ranked that high, maybe in that particular field. Don't just say it's the #1 school for environmental or climate vulnerability or climate change in the world, for climate change studies. What do they have that makes them that top school? Explain that if you are mentioning that because of their ranking. So how do you plan to immediately apply the knowledge or skills you gain after your studies? Now, all the things you are going to study in this school, how are you going to apply them, especially when you come back home? The knowledge, how are you going to bring it back home? Use it to create positive change when you come back home. That's what you need to answer here, really. So are there things you are going to learn on this course that you can come back home and localize? Maybe there's something that you learn about. For example, it could be the advanced waste management systems in the UK that you learn about, and you come back home and you try to localize it, or look at the conditions at home and see how it can be localized, stuff like that. So anything that you can pick that you say, okay, I can bring this back home. Maybe it's something we are already doing back home, but we are not doing it well enough, or it's something we are not doing at all. There's an opportunity to introduce it in it. It may not be in an exact format as it is in the UK because they are more advanced or something, but you are talking about how you want to localize it or break it down or pick parts of it and come and do it back home. So that's for that. Then career plan and impact. Outline your medium and long-term career plans. Please relate your answer to a key challenge or priority facing your country or region. So now, relate your answer to a key challenge or priority. So this essay has to connect with the one above it. If you are going to study a course and you are picking one of these priority areas, these are UK priority areas for Chevening, UK priority areas. But here it is saying that please relate your answer to a key challenge or priority facing your country or region. So you have to, it would make sense that whatever you are picking as a priority area, you're also able to describe that in your country, it's also a priority area, or it's also a key challenge. So in Nigeria, maybe we have security and stability issues because of this also. It aligns with that UK priority area for Chevening too, and that's why you are going there. So what impact do you intend to make in your home country? Again, this will feed from what you have learned here with the skills and competencies you have been able to build from your studying in the UK. So how does your career plan connect with your course of study and the challenge or priority you identified? So remember, Sina is asking us directly to link this plan that you have with your course of study. And number 4 here already speaks to a bit of the plan. So these two essays are very well connected. Then what challenges? So here, what plans do you have? What impact do you intend to make? It's asking you to apply them in a medium and long term, on a medium and long term basis. So when I get back in the next couple of months, in the next or so months, in the next 1-2 years, I want to do this. After doing this, it will help me to have built the kind of foundation or connection or gain the kind of recognition that will now enable me to be able to influence this kind of policy, develop this kind of infrastructure, build this kind of space for impact. Then all of this will eventually feed into a long-term career plan. So let there be a connect between your medium and long term. Don't just say in my medium term, when I get back or in the first 5 years, I want to teach everybody what I've learned. Then in the next 20 years, then I want to be the Minister of Environment or something in my country. You need to be able to gradually flow. So I will start with localizing the knowledge I bring back, then work with a couple of persons to establish, maybe if you want to start an organization, an initiative, contribute what you have learned to the organization where you are working before. It could be that I'll return to my organization, contribute to what they are doing with my new knowledge. In the next 5 years, I will work towards becoming the executive director in the organization. Then I'll be able to help to design or co-design policies that can be used to lobby in legislation or something. So then eventually with all of this, it will also, working as the ED, will also grant me access to some kind of networks in other organizations, other stakeholders. Then in another 15 years, I am looking at becoming the Minister of Environment. But you have laid the foundation for all the things that will gradually increase your status in that field towards hoping to become, that enter that very big position if that's part of your plan. So then what barriers or obstacles might you face and how will you overcome them? You want to bring in some of the things you have learned from the UK and localize them in Nigeria or apply some of them. Will there be challenges from culture, from people, from our exposure? Are there things that you can implement directly the way they are done in the UK, or there are things that you would have to find a way to redefine them or redesign them to fit our status in Nigeria? What kind of challenges may you face? How will you overcome them? So you really have to think around, okay, these are the things I have said I want to do. 1 or 2 of them, which will pose, what challenge can I, okay, I see a question, I'll answer that. What challenges will I face? And so there may be a couple of challenges, but you have 300 words. So you have to pick the ones that you can, briefly explain that, okay, this will be my strategy for handling this. Then how will being a Chevening scholar help you achieve your ambitions? Being a Chevening scholar would open you to the Chevening community, the alumni community. So you definitely find in that community people who are already doing some of the work you want to do. So you can partner with them, network with them. Then the UK government in your country, in Nigeria, they will likely also be doing some level of work in that your field, or they have done in the past, and say, okay, you leverage on your status as a Chevening scholar to try to work with them, to partner with them, to work on projects in different parts in this field and all that. So all of those can come into how being a Chevening scholar help you achieve your ambitions. So these things, they are not things that you should just try to write once and want to hurry and go and submit. Start writing them in bits. Let your mind constantly be thinking around them. Write the first one, write the second one. Yeah, you can have a session where you just start write more than 300 words, write. And just keep everything you have written in mind, and okay, as your mind will be dwelling on them, I can remove this one, I can do this one better, then you're reducing the word count and you're making it better. If you are waiting till the last week and you want to hurry and write, I'm not saying you cannot write something good, but you may not have the time to reflect on it and say, okay, I can make this better this way and all of that. So that's mostly all for the essays, which I think are the are a very critical part of the application. After talking essays, I think the last thing, that's the major thing in the application. There's a question that if successful through the stages, does Chevening restrict pregnant scholar from going over to study? No, I don't think so. No, I do not think so. It's open to everyone. You just need to be prepared yourself. If you are pregnant and you want to go ahead, thankfully you can take the dependent along. So if you are married, if you have a partner, you can take them along. And they can help you to cater for your body, because it's not easy for your baby. It's not easy to be studying and be managing a baby alone in that side of the world. And you cannot afford not to meet the university standards for attending classes and all of those things by giving excuses. So, but no, Chevening will not restrict you. There are people who get a scholarship and maybe they just give better period. Some of them waive it, but Chevening does not really do much of that. You just try again the next year if you don't think you're in a good condition to go. So it's for the individual to make the decision. If you want to go with your baby, or if you are pregnant, you can definitely travel. What else? I think I have covered all of it. So that's most of the whole thing about the application. Thank you very much for listening. I think I took 17 minutes beyond time. Yeah, that's me. Back to you, Ajoke. And yeah, I'll be happy to take questions. Ajoke, are you there?
All right, I think Ajoke,
Yes,
are you there?
I am here. Wow. Wow, that was a powerful session. Thank you, Mr. Mayokun, for the valuable insights.
Mayokun, not Mayokun. Thank you.
Mayokun. So if there is any other question, you can ask now. You can drop it in the chat if there's any other question.
Okay. So somebody is saying, wow, I actually thought the scholarship doesn't cover it. It does. I mean, the normal UK immigration does not allow you to take a dependent if you are going for a master's, a taught master's, but because it's a government-sponsored scholarship, it allows you to, so you can take a dependent. Any other question? Yeah, I remember I said I was going to talk about application course, selecting your courses and stuff like that. So please allow me to do that in perhaps another 5 minutes. Please confirm that you can see my screen. You might need to speak to ask your question. Okay, please give me a moment. Let me quickly do this course selection thing. Please, can you confirm that you can see my screen? Anybody?
Yes, we can. We can see your screen.
Finally, Mayokun speaks. Interesting. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm looking for the costing. Where is the costing? Here. Program of study. So I would advise that you can search for, so you see this course finder link around in many places in the website. So when you click on that, you come here, you can find the course. So you can, if you have a particular investor in mind, they already offer the course you want, you can type in their name. If you have a course in mind, somebody give us a course, any course. Let's try with that. Any course, any field.
Environmental management.
Mayokun, are you an environmentalist too?
Yes, an aspiring environmentalist.
Now, okay, because you are my namesake, let me use environmental management. Sorry guys, I saw that other people typed in the chat room. So let's do environmental management. Okay. So if we search, it should show us a list of all schools that have that course. So it may not be the exact name, but if you pick out what say now, this is what an environmental management and business development. So you see some different kinds of specialties. In this school, they have, environmental assessment and management. To just pick out the keywords, search for similar courses in different schools around the UK. So there's up to 2 pages of schools that are here that offer that up. So any course you search for, you should see. Now, if you have a particular region in mind, you have interest maybe in London, that's in England, or you want to go to Scotland or Wales or Northern Ireland, you can also select, if you already have a particular part of UK that you think you want to go to. So when you select this, so these are already universities. The universities that are here are universities. And this was my school. This was the school I went to, Glasgow Caledonian University. I did environmental management, waste management pathway. So, so when you select all of these schools, many of them are already, you see, some of them Chevening partner. Some of them are not yet, but they are already listed there. And for them to be here, the Chevening has most likely, people have studied in them through Chevening. So you can select them, but there may be other schools that are not listed here, but that have that course. So you can actually apply to any school in the UK, as long as it's a UK school and the course is a full-time master's for 1 year, you can apply. So, but sometimes there may be delay when Chevening is negotiating with them to try to bring them on board, which in most cases works out well. But there may be a little delay when your colleagues are progressing, you may have a bit of a panic. So if you have that, it's no situation to worry about. But if you are picking 3 schools, at least, and you want to pick all the schools outside the ones that are not here, I would strongly advise that you at least pick at least 1 school that is already listed here. So, and you can also apply to more than 3 schools eventually after and all that. But let's come to environmental management. So let's stay in University of Liverpool. If we click on environmental assessment and management, so this is a bit of information about the course. So when you come here, you read briefly about it, but always advisable to go to the school website. If you want to write an email, you see different details for all the schools listed. So, but let's go to the school website, University of Liverpool. Yeah, now go. So the departments, if we click on this, it will still take us there. So let's follow this. Let's just copy this, paste in our browser. So Liverpool University. So find your course. Our course is environmental. I do not accept cookies, Charlie. Environmental management. So postgraduate course here. So we search. It's taking us to the course. Which one did we see? Environmental assessment and management. Okay, let's take this. So 12 months. They offer it in full time. So confirm that they offer that course in full time. But most importantly, I want us to go and look at the modules now of the course, because you will need to come use some of the modules in the application. You remember I said how you need to reference some parts of the things they will teach you and use them as while you're applying to that course. So let's come to course content. So this will show you the courses you are going to take. So semester 1 in mostly all the schools. For all the courses, they will have a page where they will show you the content of what they are going to teach you. Excuse me. So yeah, so you see for the first semester, these are compulsory modules. So you can say, oh, you are particularly looking forward to these modules. It will teach you this and this and this and this. These are other optional modules. So and if you click on these courses, the good thing for most of them is they usually have even more information about the courses you see now. So you can read, you can have different overviews or summaries that you can also use in your application. But please be careful not to just copy content here and be pasting as part of your essay. Rephrase, paraphrase. If you are picking things here, just reward them and all of that. Then semester 2 too, you can reference things here. So different parts of the modules that would you think particularly you will learn from, that would help you to really develop and we aid your going back and want improving the solution you want to implement when you go back on. So I think this is really important. Yeah, so that's Thank you. Where's that question? Let me take it. So you may need to speak to answer your question. Okay, yes, please. Ajoke, do you want to? Theophilus is asking to speak for his question. I'm just showing off, but I have my Chevening water bottle here. So by this time next year, I hope that some of you also have this water bottle, Chevening. And yeah, also showing off with it. It's a prestigious one to have. The water in this water bottle is more healthy than the one you drink. Okay, Theophilus, can you unmute? If you can unmute yourself, please go on.
Okay, yeah. Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, good everyone. So my question is around the course choice and global challenge essay question. And it's tied around the priority areas and all. So my course of choice is health informatics. So when you dropped the priority areas, I couldn't like sort of tie my course choice to the priority areas and all. So I don't know if you like can find like uh, a sort of middle ground for them, or if you think I still have a shot at this.
Okay, so your course is what? Health informatics?
Yeah, health informatics.
Okay, so what is that about? What do you want to do? What would you want to do with health informatics when you go and study in the UK and come back? What's changed? What kind of change do you hope to make, or what do you want to improve?
Okay, so obviously from the name is about improving patient healthcare delivery in Nigeria. So it's more interdisciplinary in the sense that tying technology, mostly software engineering, with the healthcare sector. So I'm trying to improve the healthcare sector in Nigeria in order to make patient data more secure, more confidential, and easy to like share among hospitals anywhere in Nigeria.
Okay. So I think that you can perhaps find a way to tie it to the part about strengthening security.
Okay.
I mean, if you are coming from the part of data security, that's an important thing. So data management and all of that, then I think you can also tie it to the supporting development for a more inclusive and effective society. The inclusive part is, yeah, better healthcare and stuff like that for everybody. The effective is that having better systems of managing healthcare. So I think that the last priority area, supporting development for more inclusive and effective societies, actually can take in a lot. The one for building resilience in a climate vulnerable world, that one kind of focuses on people that are into the environment, space, and stuff like that, promoting growth and prosperity. So basically, it depends on the particular niche you want to, make some impact in. So I think that's what you need to now look. Okay, which one can I tie it to? And again, this is part of the places you can use AI. You can do a think tank with AI. This is what I want to do. This is what I intend to do. There's this 4 priority areas. Which one does it connect to mostly? Do an explainer for me on how this connects to this. So you can do that and it can offer you some insights. But yeah, think about it yourself. Whatever it gives you, you now already, oh, is this true? Is this true? Is this a situation? Does it apply to Nigeria? Should I go for this one or not? So yeah, you need to really think about it. It's mostly dependent on what you want to do with the course. I hope I answered your question well enough. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, thank
great.
you.
Thank you, Theophilus. I'm an early childhood educator and I don't have a leadership role, just a class teacher. How should I write the leadership essay for the scholarship? How do you not have a leadership role? If your application is going to be based on okay, let me ask you, Jason Ferrami, right now, what do you think you want to base your application on? Is it on childhood education? Is it on that or something else? If it's on childhood education, yes, then you you are already leading. The fact that you are teaching, you are a class teacher, how many students have you taught? Why did you go into childhood education? Why? Was there, okay, is this something you just stumbled upon? Maybe you were just looking for a job and you found that and you're doing it, or it's something that you intentionally went into? If it's something that you intentionally went into, what caused you to go into that? You saw that this, and you wanted to contribute to helping to change the narrative in that. So that qualifies as you leading in that role. And if it's something you just stumbled upon and you are falling in love with, so as you have started doing the job, what are the things you have done? How many children have you taught? How have you helped to, how have you seen that, you've been able to see the significance of childhood education? How are you teaching in the classroom? What are some of the examples you can give from the classroom that, you had the students who maybe, or this pupil, if it's childhood, who maybe, perhaps you have somebody who is just coming to class after they are 10 years and they are just starting at a very small level, but you were able to help to train them, and now they are progressing at a good rate and all of that. And it further cements for you the importance of early childhood education, how it's needed to help to form the basic foundation of a child's development and stuff around that. So look at how the children you are teaching, how are they developing? How important is that development for their education ahead? You are integral to that early development part of their lives. So all of those, I think it's ways that you are leading. It's ways that you are influencing the children to be better people, to have the solid foundation that they need, for times ahead. So I think all of those can work in this case. You just need to bring the thoughts together and pen them down in a good way, that where it's all harmonized and it's making sense. Does that make some sense to you, Jessica? Yeah, if there's any other question.
So thank you, Mr. Mayokun.
Mayokun, in Jesus' name.
Thank you, Mr. Mayokun. Is there still any other question?
Okay. I think Abigail